I don't know how
This
to.
meeting is being recorded.
Good evening. How you both doing?
Good,
Good.
thanks. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Amanda, you well?
Yeah, we're good.
We're back with our little side segment. It's now three Jews talking. Anything? A couple of things that grabbed my attention this week. The first one being the de facto leader of Hamas
Yeah,
made a speech in Istanbul, saying that Hamas will not disarm. There won't be an international peacekeeping force. That Jerusalem is the central arena, that October 7th was committed because of the central arena of Jerusalem, and that it will happen again. And there will be no laying down of weapons. There will be nothing will change. And Hamas leadership that's in Gaza now will be still in control. What are your opinions on this?
I have to say that, I think that Hamas, just like in general, never really said yes to this peace plan. I mean, there hasn't
exactly.
really been a phase one because not all the hostages are home. So why would they even do anything else if they can't even show the first sign of good faith? So I don't know. I have zero zero positivity feelings like moving forward, especially when they're saying they don't want an international ruler as well, right? Because wasn't that part of the peace plan?
Yes, yeah,
Exactly.
definitely. Your thoughts, Amanda?
No, I mean, I'm not surprised. It's more surprising that people are surprised at this point or get actual talking points from any leader, whether it's official or not, unofficial from Hamas. Like, I mean, what are we doing here? Like, so we're asking the terrorists, the leader of the terrorists, the opinions on whether the terrorists are going to lay down their arms. They never agreed to lay down their arms.
No, and they're a puppet anyway. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but that's what Hamas is, a puppet for Iran. They're just another one of the proxies,
Yeah.
and that's still like the big head of the Medusa is Iran, and then you have all the different like proxies. One being Hezbollah, which I mean is probably just laying dormant right now. Then
Yeah.
you have Hamas, and I mean, what do you think ISIS was? Like they were all in the same. It's just a different kind of name,
Yeah.
right? It's all the same people.
I mean, you've got Palestinian Islamic Jihad, the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine. You've got ISIS. You've got Hamas. You've got Al Azadin brigades that are all really the same entity, just with a
Yeah.
different name. The side
Yeah.
caveat to what I was saying just now about the speech made by Khalid Marshall in Istanbul is I've seen a couple of reports saying that Israel is being pressured via Trump. We've seen how close Trump seems to think he is to President Erdogan of
Yeah.
Turkey, and he's pressuring Israel to allow an international peacekeeping force from Turkey, boots on the ground in Gaza, which I think is a huge mistake.
I don't
Yeah.
think you can trust them.
Yeah.
No, no, and they have, if not the most, probably the second most powerful army in Europe in terms of personnel, weaponry, not in terms of logistics and skill, but in terms of boots on the ground, they have got a lot. And I think that would be an absolute mistake. I can't see that ending well. Erdogan's been spoiling for a confrontation with Netanyahu for a long, long time.
Yeah. I
I
agree.
I don't think it's neutral enough. I think they need to
Yeah.
have a more neutral player come in.
And
Absolutely.
any suggestions on who that would be?
No,
You
because I mean they're
guys.
all in
This
bed
is in this is in
together.
this is in
So,
your
oh
guys'
yeah,
wheelhouse.
we
Yeah,
could,
yeah,
we
you
it's
do it.
easy. It's easy to to be like to point fingers and be like these people are doing this and like that, but like then you're like, all right, let's take some steps back. What could be the solutions? And then you're like, all right, I I feel it won't be like. Would it be anyone in Europe? I don't think so. I don't know, any
I
European
think I
countries?
think I think the French could well be
Mm,
part of that, and quite possibly the Norwegians as well.
yeah, but if
Well,
Switzerland had more of a, I don't know what they're like.
they don't get involved with anything ever or
No.
anybody, so they're neutral to everything. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Norway and maybe the French.
Mm.
Um,
Norway,
uh,
you think?
yeah, they've got an awful lot of sympathisers in Norway, so I think they could well be a peacekeeping force. Not so much the Danes, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's somebody from Scandinavia, maybe a coalition from Scandinavia that are seen to be more neutral, a little bit
Hmm.
more open to the idea of Hamas retaining power, because that's what I don't believe they'll leave. I don't believe they'll go.
Why
It's not up
haven't
to
they
them
left?
to go. Sorry to cut you off, Amanda. Like,
No,
it's not up to them.
Like,
who's it up to then?
Then who's real? Are we looking at like? Is there going to be? If it's, would it be the PLO? Could they like be like do something else? Would Mahmoud Abbas like want to have a say in what's happening in Gaza?
Well, I believe that could be an option, but if you look at there was in 2005 6 when they tried to first call a general election, there was voter apathy, and um, Abu Mazen was rumored to be very nonchalant about it. He thought he would win, and Hamas came home at a gallop, and they didn't get a look in. So I'm wondering whether he's actually got the political savvy to be able to control Gaza.
Mm.
I, I look at it from a British perspective that we did this with Northern Ireland, and this is why about I can see I don't agree with it. I can see about the Marwan Barghouti issue because we had an awful lot of prisoners, IRA prisoners, in the Maze prison in Ireland. They brought them out of jail and they installed them as leaders alongside legitimate political figures. And I think that's why you've got the British looking to make a deal and maybe insert Tony Blair because he was the key component as well with the Good Friday
yeah,
Agreement.
wasn't he? He was supposed to be involved, and
Yeah,
Mm.
I haven't heard anything about that.
no. Everything's gone quiet. I kind of
Yeah.
feeling more in the dark now than I felt for the last 2 years.
Yeah, I agree. I was gonna say it was seems eerily quiet, you
Mm,
know, besides besides the ongoing, pro-Palestinian protests, and people are still kind of chanting, and the same rhetoric, it hasn't really like changed. But
Yeah.
like the news hasn't been like, I agree. I'm like, yeah, I look at the Times of Israel, and even on that front, I mean, they're still not agreeing on a lot of interesting things. Like I think Bibi's trying to be like pardoned. He doesn't want, of course, he doesn't want to go to jail, right? So he doesn't want to leave as well. But then the Haredi as well are, there's a lot of issues with the conscription. So there's feeling a lot of I think internal turmoil there, and that it's also now just, I mean, what's happening to this rebuilding of Gaza? Like, are they still getting food? Like, I don't know. Like, do you know? Like,
no
water,
idea.
electricity? Like,
I've no idea. I could say I'm more in the dark now than I have been, and
mm,
it begs the question about newsworthiness in the Western media.
mm,
Yeah. I
Now
mean,
there's
I've
been
seen
rumored
a
of
lot of
ceasefire.
points. A lot of people, when they've seen Bibi asking to be pardoned, a lot of people think that he's asking to be pardoned for things concerning the war and war crimes because people don't seem to understand that
No,
Israel existed before this happened and there's actual things. And I've been seeing so many like of the Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, like followers like suggesting that he's begging for a pardon, and then Trump is suggesting they pardon him for the atrocities that it's like so scary because it's like you said, there's no actual news now, whether it's one side, other, but there's still just as much propaganda and just as many people in the streets in Montreal. I mean, McGill is our schools are still in up here, they're just still chanting free Gaza. Now I even less understand what free Gaza from what, but the actual news, it's very strange, has gone like dark, but not the propaganda. That's still going. So,
Mm,
yeah,
mm.
I think the pro-Palestinian and the propaganda is actually going to end up being detrimental to itself in the long run because they'll now show that it was never really about Gaza. It was something that they're now heavily invested in, and
yeah,
they're not going to walk away from that limelight very easily.
No, there it's showing like their true colors, right? That it's like, a you're faking this thing and you're in this cause because it's, people are being oppressed, and and I mean, all this stemmed from self-defense, right? So, and then afterwards you look at it through what lens? Well, they're looking at this algorithm on the news for one every pro-Israel post. There's 54 pro-Palestinian ones, and so as well, I think the university generation is, culpable. They're very like gullible. We've talked about this many times prior about like TikTok being like a true detriment to history in general, and the real truth and the real facts. And unfortunately, people just think they can see a video for a few minutes and maybe watch 5 to 10 other ones and feel like they can make an educated decision. And it's unfortunately like actually the furthest part from the truth, because as Amanda was saying, people like, we all know this, where they're being fed the wrong side, the propaganda, and then who's being affected? Well, most of the Jews all around the world, like Toronto
yeah.
is a
Oh,
daily happening. That just 2 days ago, 20 mezuzahs were ripped off of people's doors, in a seniors community Russian housing. And it's so, I mean, I mean, it's so sad what's happening, because it's like, do you think those people want war in Israel and Gaza? Those like senior citizens, what do they have? They just want to have like, their faith respected, and us not to be like what, singled out, and it's all
exactly.
our fault.
Yeah,
Like,
See, we've regardless of race, gender, religious orientation, we've always been brought up with the of respecting elders, regardless. So a dynamic shift in the narrative to make it acceptable to target elderly people, whereas you target an elderly person in the UK, you're going to jail regardless,
good,
because you've just frightened a senior citizen. You're not getting
good.
away with that here, and I don't get how it's changed so much.
Yeah,
it's that what's wrong is our hate crimes, like the hate crimes and the laws around it. They're just like, people are just not being held accountable. There is like a, what do they call it, the three tier police system, or
Yeah.
it's obvious that, again, they're they always seem to be on this like, the other side. They're like, oh, stop showing your Israeli flag because you're offending them, or it's, and I'm like,
Same here,
but
yeah.
they're allowed to chant these things. They're allowed to throw these like smoke bombs with colors and chant, and like, you feel like you're highly intimidated in those situations, and they're the ones that, like, we're the ones who are like like, I would just say like pro-Israeli, like,
yeah,
rallies or get-togethers seem to be the ones that are pushed to the other side. And how is this also being allowed to be in front of our places of worship? Not for a few weekends. What is this, two
yeah.
full years now of intimidation? And Toronto as well, too, a few weeks ago, again, like a synagogue. This was, I think, its 10th time the windows were broken.
Insane.
10 times
Yeah,
in the last
just
2 years. Not normal.
yeah.
No. Have you seen Noah Tishby's
Yes, I
latest?
did.
Wow, in Paris. What the fuck?
Yeah.
She actually, for the first time, she actually looked frightened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
That's the first
agree.
time
Her eyes.
I
Yeah.
see her. That's the first time I've seen her proper flustered and thinking, "Holy shit, what's going to go on?" And that
Yeah.
one girl was really goading for her, wasn't she, as well?
Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, at least she'd be able to stand about and have a chat with people. And some people were, well, I never realized that. I never realized this.
Hmm.
What about killing people? Oh, about Marwan Barghouti killing people. And one guy said, "Yeah, he's a peaceful man. He's done nothing wrong." And she said, "5 murders there on his rap sheet." He went, "Oh, really? I didn't know that." And it's just a lack of education, a lack of knowledge,
Of course.
Yeah, yeah. It's the one-sided history lesson,
or
you
an
know,
excuse.
or an excuse. Yeah, because I mean, it's not a history lesson if you think the guy is a peaceful activist or whatever you want to call it. Like, I mean, he deserves to be in prison. He's a mass murderer, like most of the people who were released in exchange for like hostages, the dead, the alive, and that came with a great price to Israel. Now there's just more people who are out on the street who can have those tendencies and who've, murdered so many. And I mean, may all of their memories be a blessing. Like the Sparrow Pizzeria was just what a few weeks ago, and you keep on
No.
seeing those now more and more. You're like, oh wow, this was already 20 years ago. This was, like,
Yeah.
but
Another question I want to ask you both about. So, as much as I can see with my own eyes that it has its usefulness in deterrence. What do you think of the plans are with Israel to try and reintroduce via a bill the death sentence? And a side bit to that is, what do you think of Itamar Ben Giver and his following wearing the golden noose pins?
maybe I'll let Amanda start because
Yeah,
I
I
don't think I
don't,
haven't.
yeah, like I don't even, what do I think of a golden news pin? Like, it's a little ludicrous, like most
I think
things.
so as well. I think it's a bit
I
Yeah,
disgraceful.
I don't. That doesn't
Doesn't
sit
sit
well
well
with
with
me. If we're gonna
no.
be like, don't do the red hand pin. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
we're not too
don't
far off from that
no,
as well. I
like
yeah.
mean,
there's
I know we wore
there's
the
no
ribbon
way.
for 2 years for very different reasons and peace and hope and
Yeah.
return of the hostages. This is not the
Yeah,
same
No.
thing. And I mean, the Torah does not want us to kill people.
No, it does not
no.
at all. No.
I would never like entertain
Yeah,
wearing anything like that
yeah,
at all. I think that's a horrible message to project, and I don't think anybody that actually embraces real Judaism in any form would even
yeah.
entertain wearing that. That's
There's extremists everywhere. I'm sorry to say, there's
Yeah.
extremists like look who murdered Yitzhak Rabin. I mean, so I mean, there's extremists everywhere. Look at the settlers. I'm sorry, but we could have a
yeah,
whole podcast
horrible.
just about
We
settler
really could.
violence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So like, I don't agree with
no,
the extreme. So either
No,
way, there's
I'm against the
extreme
death
left,
penalty.
extreme right.
Yeah.
I'm always going to be more in the middle because I don't believe one is better than the other. And I think they both have it's the horseshoe, right? In some ways, those two kind of rights and
yeah,
extreme lefts always end up being
always.
the
Yeah,
same thing.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Something to read out to you both. I'll just get this up. We were chatting and laughing about people not knowing when Hanukkah is, and it's not an explanation, but maybe an explanation as to why it moves. The Jewish calendar is a lunar solar calendar, tracking time using both lunar months, 20 and 30, 29 and 30 days at a time, and solar years, synchronizing them by adding a leap year month Adar 7 times in a 19-year cycle to align with the seasons. I hope that made it a little bit easier for people watching as to why we don't know when Hanukkah happens every year and it changes.
could I also jump in because it's kind of funny when we were chatting about it earlier, and it's also like how do you spell Hanukkah? Like it
with a
also has
CA.
like so many different
Yeah,
like ways of spelling it,
anything
and you're like,
goes, really. Yeah,
you're exactly it.
yeah,
Hey,
And
it's a
what was it?
miracle.
What's it? Well, yeah, I mean, we got 7 days for free off one day, so it kind of like, what is that? What you're celebrating? It kind of feels like any. It's a good story, but yeah, I think that makes it any easier for people to follow. It's quite a difficult one, isn't it?
I think it, a little bit. The solar lunar makes sense and is understandable, and then you just start to,
It's like
and
a math equation.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not.
I mean, last year it aligned perfectly, didn't it? Everything, the Christian calendar, the Gregorian calendar, and the lunar
Yeah,
solar cycle
it was
was
all at the
absolutely
same
matched
time.
in December.
Yeah,
This year's obviously a little bit earlier.
yeah,
So yeah, it's an interesting story the way that we dance around the dates and nothing kind of falls on the same day.
no,
No, no, exactly. Well, we are very it's a very mystical faith, isn't it? So,
Yes,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah, it is very.
it's yeah,
yeah,
And if you
yeah.
can
For who's
figure
ever
anything,
been to Spat, it feels very like the Kabbalah and all that kind of thing. So, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it is
it's
hard
true.
to explain.
Are you both celebrating Hanukkah this year in full? As you can
Yeah,
see, my Hanukkah bush is already there.
there you go. Yeah, I decorated today, actually. I'm making a whole thing for my father. I really hate frying and whatever, but I'm gonna make him latkes and
Oh,
everything
I
and try for
love
the
latkes.
but
Mm,
not a
Oh, I
baker,
just
so
love them.
yeah, we'll see.
You
well,
can do
So
little if you get with latkes once you've made them as well. When they go cold, you can get little like muffin tins and put them into the muffin tins and then fill them and bake them, which is ever so nice as well.
oh, that's a great tip.
Yeah,
I might take you
really,
up on
really
that because I
lovely.
haven't started like anything yet. My sister arrives on Saturday to my place from Israel, so she's going to be with me for the first night of Hanukkah. We're still on the fence if my niece is coming or not, but I think we're at like 99% okay. It takes a lot. There's a lot of hoops to go through in the army, right?
yeah,
When you're
for
trying to
sure.
leave the country.
Yeah,
Like, I'm sure it looks positive because she's coming to see my father and she's with her family. So I highly doubt she has like, AWOL tendencies. So I'm sure it'll be a really nice visit. And it's like, I mean, it's the first Hanukkah I spent with my sister in like over, I don't remember. So, and our last night of Hanukkah will be with my father, and he really wants to light candles as well. So, I'm going to
Oh
be
no.
pretty much with Hanukkah with my sister the whole time. And yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be like, I don't know, very spiritual, I think. I think we
For
need
sure.
this. Like, I need the light. It's so dark right now.
I agree. Do you think that are you conscious that there will be demonstrations at gatherings when we're actually lighting a menorah? I mean, it's okay, obviously at home, but out in the community
Yeah.
down the road from me, there'll be a big parade. There'll be the lighting. There'll be my local rabbi, and
Yeah.
I'm expecting there to
Well,
be a bit of issues.
I have a rabbi who lives actually right behind me. He's my neighbor, and
Yeah,
we have a big menorah in, we'll call it the community square, whatever you want to call it, because I'm on an island. And but simultaneously, like at the same time, there's it was a Chabad, but now it's like a shul. They have like a small congregation. It's a shul, and there's a church on the left-hand side, and there's a mosque on the right-hand side. And he's done it
sounds
every
like
year,
fun.
including the war. Like he's done it, and every year he asks me to go and stuff. And I've been apprehensive to go, the last few years. And this year I think that I'm actually going to go. I don't, there's more Arabs now, I would say, on island than there, but I don't think in my particular little community, I don't think there's going to be any protesting, so I'm not that worried. But I'm about 10 minutes from downtown, and I'm 100% confident there will be, like downtown, there will be protests for sure. Yeah.
Am I right in saying that in Canada, I'm sure I read something. They're looking to increase the Arab population by over 10 million over the next 10 years.
They're doing a good job. Like, whether it's official,
Well,
like,
it's easy to get in. You just got to agree on an app when you get into the country, and you don't even see a Canadian Border Service agent. So
yeah,
sure,
Wow.
welcome. We already have 450 Hamas operatives who are just in Canada at the moment. But just this is like how our security measures are so bad. And then the funniest thing that our minister was like, "Oh yes," and then they're called to make an appointment. And then so you get to come in, you get to have all these amazing benefits, and you need health care. No worries, everything's free. We're going to give you like up to $80,000 a year for you and your family. We've sent billions of dollars on hotel rooms. You billions. And this is only up until 2023 data. So we don't even have the newest data. It's worse than ever. So they're spending sometimes months in these hotels on government's dime. They're cutting back on our veterans, on our seniors' pensions. Um, our healthcare is crumbling, but
yeah,
welcome. Sure, let's open our doors to more people because we don't even have the infrastructure, the social housing, the benefits to actually just help the Canadians who already live here.
exactly. We feel sorry
And
for everybody except actual Canadians.
yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah. Well, oh, here's a good story. We cut what was it, 3.7 billion dollars from our veterans, and then the next day they turn around and give a similar amount to the Ukraine. Tell me that doesn't add up. It, I don't.
unbelievable.
Unbelievable,
It
unbelievable.
almost it almost feels like a mirror image. I mean, Carney spent an awful lot of time here, living in the UK as the governor of the Bank of England, and it kind of feels that policy that's here, he's taken there because he's seen it implemented. There is a lot of propaganda still about the amount of people coming into the country. There's an awful lot of lies, and there is obviously some truths. But the one thing they've just tried to do the last couple of weeks to appease British voters is they've taken away the right for Muslim immigrants to use a taxi service to go to doctors and hospital appointments. Our senior citizens don't get that.
Hmm.
Why do
Yet,
they
yet
get the red carpet?
one
They're
guy,
paying
one guy,
taxes.
so one guy's bill to go to hospital was £650. So 1,300 Canadian
Wow.
for one taxi journey.
Wow.
And you had one whistleblower from a taxi firm that's an Asian taxi firm, and he came forward and said, "I'm getting asked to take people to appointments every single day, and adding extra money onto it, and everybody's doing it." So the government's been paying an absolute fortune in taxi fares for these people.
Wow.
It's
Who gets that kind of treatment in any
yeah,
other country? Because I don't get that. My
yeah,
son wouldn't get it. My mother doesn't get it. You have to phone an ambulance and wait for half an hour for it to
Yeah.
turn up, even if you're dying. But
oh, and
you'll
then
get,
you get the bill. We get
oh,
the
we got,
bill for an ambulance service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another
Oh,
thing that people don't realize about
yeah.
Canada, you absolutely get the bill.
Yeah.
I,
Nothing covers ambulance services. Let's
No.
just put it that way. I have like the best insurance. Never, and I've always had to pay for ambulances.
Yeah,
So,
wow,
absolutely.
that just
yeah.
it just feels so odd to me that
But on a trade, you might not die in the emergency room waiting for an appointment. It's for waiting to be seen by a doctor because an
There
average
you
is
go.
14-hour wait, maybe. So I can be so cynical about what's been happening and where we live, even if things are quotably free. It's not free when your taxes are 35% of
Yeah.
your, and that's not even,
wow,
and then I'm not even taking off like my union use, my pension. So my take home is 54% of my salary.
wow,
It's
Yeah.
ludicrous.
Yeah.
and
46% goes to everything else, plus, of course, my pension, like I said, my health care and all that kind of stuff. But still, that's a lot. That's and then you go to a grocery store and then you buy things and then they tax you on top of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that bad, I must admit. It's almost, but not quite. And we don't have to pay for healthcare unless you want to. And
Yeah.
our healthcare system, it is there's a big divide between where my parents live up north to where I live closer to London. There's a distinct difference in the quality of care, the cleanliness, and the upkeep of the hospitals. And yeah, I'm quite lucky to live down here, really.
Oh, good
So
for you. Us is very provincial, so that's what really regulates our healthcare is the
Yeah.
province. So I mean, it's still free unless you have like some private things or like some blood tests if you want things to be done more quickly, like some imaging, of course, like 4D ultrasounds, those kind of things are at cost. Even like what type of room you're in at the hospital giving birth. If it's private, of course, like your insurance might cover semi-private or that sort of thing, depending on what you have. But I'm like blessed to work for the government. I do. You can't get much better health care than I have, or my insurance, or dental and all the extras, massages. I can go on and on about the really wonderful pros of like working for the government. Even if I have like a lot of things to say that are negative, like I mean, we're all people, right? There's a lot of cogs in this big wheel of like
exactly.
the federal service, like being a public servant, I still uphold and I'm very like I love working for, you know, quote unquote Canada. Like I am very blessed, but it comes with a lot as well. Like there's a lot of people's perception is we don't do very much, but then but everyone's always going to have something to say. So
We are almost out of time. Have you got any final thoughts, or either of you?
Be
every,
Hanukkah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Happy Hanukkah. Maybe we have a really better year next year,
Yes.
and just continue giving back, like, just giving time and being kind. And, if you can do some mitzvahs, like, that's what I would say, like, and that fills like my cup and who I am, and stepping back a bit from social media as well. Like I've cut back probably half of my online time, and I feel like my mental health has like actually improved.
Good.
I
I'm glad
That's
to
what I
hear
want
that.
to, kind of want to put forth. It's harder said than done, but you know, I think it's important that we all like reflect on that because we're probably all, we live in by our little screens, but taking us away and just connecting with the people around us, and enjoying our family.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both for your time. It's been a pleasure as always.
Likewise, happy Hanukkah.
Happy
Have a
Hanukkah.
good
Bye,
Bye.
evening.
everyone.